And welcome back. Let's head right into the KUAM News Link Zoom room where we have standing by from the Department of Corrections, Major Antone Aguon. Major Antone, good morning.
Good morning, Chris. Good morning.
Thanks for joining us. Let's just go ahead and get right into it because I know you're a busy guy. Where are we with the vaccination status for officers, inmates? And then, if you could, just is there an effort underway to get the booster shots over there at DOC?
So, as of right now, as far as booster shots, no, we're not looking at the booster shots at this time. Uh, as far as COVID, we are down to, as of yesterday, 3 inmates that are positive. They have no symptoms, but they're going through that process now.
Right.
So we came down from what, almost 30 people. We're down to 3 now. As far as staff goes, we are, we're probably about 98%, give or take. Most of our staff are vaccinated. We have about 6, I believe, that are not fully vaccinated, but we are giving them the weekly tests. I believe 2 out of the 6 are on long-term leave. They're not here. So those that are not vaccinated are taking the weekly COVID test.
Major, is it they just don't want to take the vaccine, or is there some type of an exemption that they have?
No, they don't have any exemption. As far as I understand, there's no exemption. It's just that, they're not comfortable taking the vaccine.
Right.
But, again, that's their choice. But they are, in line with the governor's executive order, they are taking the weekly COVID test.
Where do they take that test at?
We have employees that are trained to give the tests.
Okay.
DOC is actually a government agency, one of the government agencies that's actually a testing site. So a while back, we were testing DYA employees too, right? So we can do our own tests inside. So we do our own. And just like, for example, last week at the director's office, we went ahead and tested everybody at the director's office. Just as a precaution, there was no really need to it, but we did it anyway, just as a precaution, just to make sure.
Wow.
Never hurts to be safe.
Right. Yeah. That's good to hear. I would never put that thing up my nose if I didn't absolutely have to. But thank you guys for being on the cautious side.
Yeah, we do. Chris, we have to also look at our family. And it's not just me; it's my kids too. My kids are vaccinated, and everyone else here too. Their families. It's just it's more than just us. It's about our families and my coworkers' families, and we want to make sure everybody's as safe as we can be.
Well
said.
said.
You just never know. Now with the vaccine, you could probably get it, and some people don't even have symptoms, and they're positive. So you just never know.
Right on. Major, what about the status of incoming and visitation?
Well, visitations are still standstill right now, but incoming, again, we're continuing to do that every end of the month. So we just finished up, I believe, this week for another round of it. But the visitation is still on hold. Visitation is still on hold right now until, again, we'll see in a few months what happens. But as far as our inmate population, again, most of them are vaccinated. The numbers, we issued out J&G. That's what we vaccinated with. But some of the inmates that came in or prisoners that come in,
J&J.
Pfizer's.
J&J, right, Major?
Yeah, J&J. I'm sorry, J&J, the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. Right. But we do have a few that have the Pfizer because they got it on the outside before they came in. And again, a lot of we have a constant influx. So we're seeing a little bit more come in vaccinated, but we have a few that still are not, and we're trying to remedy that as soon as we can.
Major, are you seeing an increase in? I mean, I know you said you only have 3 COVID positives in the inmate population, but are you seeing an increase in Guam Police Department officers bringing in arrestees who are positive for COVID?
Not in the last 2 weeks or so. It's kind of slowed down a little bit, but again, a couple weeks back, we got a few coming in, and it kind of just spiked in our facility. But like I said earlier, we're down to about 3 now. And unfortunately, none of our inmates that had it, all the prisoners that had it, were contracted COVID. No serious medical issues. Nobody was required hospitalization or anything like that. No. Some of them were vaccinated. Some of them were not vaccinated. And again, right now we're down to 3. Out of the 3, 1 is vaccinated and 2 is unvaccinated. That are positive right now. But again, we do our best to try to educate them, and if we can get them vaccinated before they get released, we try to do that.
Major, I know that you were able to confirm that the Guam Police Department had brought murder suspect Troy Damien to a staging area where they were conducting remains retrieval of what eventually turned out to be Michael Castro's remains. Can you kind of tell us a little bit about that process when that
Oh,
happens?
okay. So I'm not, I know, I'm not sure where GPD took him yesterday, but whenever the Guam police, and it's happened before where they're doing a follow-up investigation. They need to talk to some of the people that have been confined or are confined regarding either new cases or cases that come up. They're connecting them to other cases that were unsolved, whatever it may be. GPD will ask us if they could come, and we do what we call a transfer of custody, right? And so the director will fill out an EOC form, extension leave of confinement, and it's authorized under the Guam Code because the director is the custodian of the person, right? When the court commits them to our custody, but they're never released from any law enforcement, out in the community. And so in this case, yes, GPD asked for the gentleman to continue interviewing and part of their investigating process, and it was authorized by the director. As far as where GPD went after that, with the, I don't
Right,
know
right.
where they went.
Let me just get in here, Major, for the clarity. You did,
Yeah.
DLC did confirm that GPD did take custody of Troy Damian, but I was able to confirm on my own
Okay.
through family members of the property where they were
Okay.
parking that they had seen GPD officers bring an inmate to that site yesterday
Okay.
morning. Or the morning of the discovery of Michael's remains. So yeah, that's how it works. They're able to take them out and then just maybe to scenes or interrogations or whatever, and then what
Yeah,
happens?
we've let them out. They've taken them before to follow up on investigation, more questioning. They've got out in the past to visit crime scenes or other areas, reenactments and things like that, re-interviews, or they're in here for one crime, but while they're here, they connect them to another crime that was outside, so they need to follow up, and that person's in our custody. So yes, it's not unusual for, we don't want to hamper anybody's investigation. We don't want to do any of that. And so we give it to GPD and they do their part. We don't interfere in any of whatever they do with the defendant. They bring him back safely, and, again, we reconfine them and put them back in our vicinity.
Major, we did also receive a tip about this investigation or a complaint that was made against the warden relative to, I want to say, some type of harassment at Guam Behavioral Health and Wellness Center. Do you have any status update on that?
Well, I cannot, for personal reasons, Chris, I cannot just come out and say names or who's involved, but it's acknowledged that yes, there was a complaint made against several of our staff members, and then we are looking into it. We are investigating it. Internal Affairs is looking into it, but that's really all at this point I can say about the complaint. Again, anyone is free to make a complaint, and as our procedures dictate, we will look into any complaint that is made, and after that, if it, whatever that turns out in investigation, then it'll be forwarded to the director for his disposition. So yes, we are investigating a complaint that was made. Again, I can't specifically say against the warden, as you mentioned, but
Yeah.
It does involve a few of DOC employees.
A few. Has the Guam Police Department been called in to assist with this investigation?
No, not at this time. I mean, it's not. I mean, they are free if they feel there's a criminal complaint, they can file it with GPD on their own. But right now, it's more of an administrative investigation.
Can you tell us who the complainant was?
I cannot, Chris, give the name of the person right now, but all I can say is it's an employee of the Guam Behavioral.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about contraband update, Major?
Well, as lately, we haven't really found too much contraband. We do a few shakedowns. We shook down the halfway house the other day, and nothing really there legally of contraband, excess items, things like that we normally have to clean house. But there has been no really major contraband the last couple of weeks that we found.
I'm sorry. I just want to make sure I get all the info about this investigation because you said several DOC personnel were being investigated. How many?
We have there was a complaint made basically about 3 of our employees.
Okay.
Yeah.
And have the employees been placed on administrative leave?
No. I mean, yeah, again, Chris, when we put them on administrative leave, that's free leave. They're left, but we don't feel at this point that it would warrant that. I mean, they can still do their job. They're not usually if you put somebody on administrative leave, it's because you're concerned about influencing on the investigation or other issues. But in this case, we don't feel that's necessary. They can still continue with their job and do what they need to do while we do the investigation process. So no, there's no need for an administrative leave at this point.
Major, what type of interaction does the Department of Corrections have with the Guam Behavioral Health and Wellness Center?
Well, Chris, right now, as you know, there was a MOU, an executive order signed maybe a year ago that Guam Behavioral will assume responsibility, oversee the mental health and behavioral health of our department. Similar to the way the GMH oversees our medical. So we do have Guam Behavioral staff that come into our department. We have one of our units, Post 7, that used to be our quarantine unit, but that is now our Guam Behavioral Annex. Guam Behavioral Annex. So those that are court committed to this annex, we have Guam Behavioral staff up there, along with DOC officers, to manage them. So we're bringing the services to the inmates here in our facility, because as you know, some of them, being housed in the Tamuning facility may not be the best option due to security issues and concerns and things like that. So again, we do have the Guam Behavioral and our staff that do interact on a daily basis.
So does that mean that DOC staff travel up to Guam Behavioral Health and Wellness Center, or is the GB8 the GBWIC staff down at DOC?
No, we have the Guam Behavioral staff that come to DOC.
Okay.
Yeah. The same way the GMH nurses are stationed within our facility.
So if there was a complaint that was filed against the staff at GBWIC, is GBWIC still doing the site visits to DOC, or have they been suspended because of this?
Oh, no. Again, this complaint is just one person making a complaint, and we're looking into it. As you know, we take all these complaints seriously, and we will do our part to look into it. But no, Guam Behavioral is still here. They're still coming in, and we're still servicing the inmate population as normal. Again, it's an executive order and a MOU that they provide these services to the clients here at the Department of Corrections.
Major, are you able to say if the complaint is because we've got a tip that it was harassment, but are you able to elaborate on what type of harassment? Sexual, maybe?
No, not right now, Chris. Again, we're still looking into the entire complaint.
All right, Major. So anything on that new prison?
Not at this time. Again, we're going to be waiting for a meeting with the Guam Economic Development Authority and all those to work out just start working on the financial plan. So we haven't really, still haven't had any meetings yet, but hopefully in the next few weeks we'll get something going.
Did you guys pop any bottles when that bill was signed into law?
No, we were happy, but again, I think I'd rather save that for when the groundbreaking takes place.
Yeah,
that might be better use of the champagne.
Right on, Major. Before I let you go, any incidents with DOC outside of this investigation, the complaint? Any incidents with DOC officers trying to bring in anything unusual or illegal?
No, nothing recent. No.
Any fights with inmates or any types of incident that we need to know about?
No, nothing that I have yet about major. No, nothing.
Okay.
I mean, every day, Chris, in our prison, we sometimes we do get inmates that disagree, and they, but nothing that's not uncommon. I mean, we have disagreements in the prison all the time between inmates and stuff, but nothing that would to rise to the level that we need to be, really, really concerned about. Sometimes people just don't get along.
You're right about that. Major, thank you for your time this morning.
Okay, Chris, thank you.
And just before I do let you go on the booster shot, so you said there's no effort right now to come up with a shot to administer boosters to inmates at the prison.
Yeah, not at this time. I mean, we have talked about it, but nothing has been ironed out yet as far as moving forward with that plan. I think right now too, they're still working on the certain population out there right now, and probably down the road, once more of the community people get vaccinated, then they might move to us. I mean, I several of our employees here did get us the booster, including myself. I got the third shot. So some of our employees have went and got it because we're first frontliners, and but nothing again for the inmates at this time.
So you're boosted, huh, Major?
Yes, I went and got it as soon as I could.
What which one did you get?
Pfizer.
So was your first shot Pfizer?
Yes.
Right. Okay. So
and no problem.
no problem.
No side effect other than a sore arm for a day or so, but no side effects, no nothing.
I know I was trying to get a day off out of it or something, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
No.
Thank you, Major. Always a pleasure.
All right. Okay, sir.
Esta.